it's Riley. So this video is coming to you guys a little late and I do apologize on that. Tomorrow is literally 1 week post-op from my revision surgery, and like it's just crazy that the fact that it's already almost been a week. Like I honestly can't believe it. Time has flown by so fast and so much has happened, which is hence why I haven't really been able to do any update videos. So I'm just gonna get right down to it. The first thing I do want to do is give you guys a warning. If you are like watching this video or want to watch this video, I am going to be talking about surgery, revision, and stuff around that, like everything that happened. So I may like possibly talk about blood and surgical stuff. So just please keep that in mind. If you're queasy at all, I just recommend that you get off the video. But otherwise, I thank you for watching and I appreciate it. So just to do a quick recap though, I went to Montreal on June 11th, ended up landing around about like 2:30ish, ended up then going to the hotel, and then from there like met my friend at the hotel, and then we just ended up spending the evening like kind of around the city, which was great. It kind of was like very helpful, and I appreciate that we were able to do that because it definitely helped to like kind of enjoy the city a little bit and then decompress before the next morning, which was awesome. So I really definitely enjoyed that. And then from there, like that night, I did some shower prep, which I needed to do prior to like the next morning for my surgery. And then in the morning of the next morning, so like the night of the 11th, I had to do shower prep. The morning of the 12th, I also had to do shower prep, which I'll get into. But both times, like you're required to do that prior to your surgery. So I'm just gonna start reading my notes here. So I apologize if I'm looking down here, but I cannot remember everything that happened, and I wanted to make sure that I was able to get as much information in here for you guys as possible. So on day 0 of my surgery, which was on June 12th of 2024, I got up in the morning, like I mentioned, and then had my shower, which meant I used like the chlorhexidine wash, and then had to make sure like everything was like shaved from basically waist down for surgery. Very similar to my last experience when it comes to like shower prep and everything. And then from there, once I was ready, went to the clinic around 5:15. So I left the hotel at 5:15, arrived there for 5:35ish, and then the clinic actually didn't open until 5:45, but I was only waiting like 10 minutes. So that was nice, not compared to like last time. And then at around 6, so I was then, by the time the doors open, I got in, and then 6 o'clock ish I was to fill out some paperwork and some forms, basically like about surgery, what was going to happen, any risk and complications, and I had to fill out the forms of like who was picking me up and stuff, and had to just basically like fill out some forms around and revolving surgery. Around 6:30 to 7, then I was then directed to an intake triage area, where then I was going to speak with the nurse and go over when my surgery was and what was going to happen and stuff, which then I was told actually my surgery would be at 8 o'clock in the morning, which meant that I was actually the first person of the day to go in for surgery, which was kind of nice because it meant that I would come out of surgery hopefully by around noon, and then have all evening and most of the next morning to relax, because then I was flying out literally back to Edmonton the day after surgery, which was kind of insane. Like it's again a lot that has happened, so I'll get like kind of break this up into parts for you guys. But yeah, it was definitely a lot. So then I was the first person in the morning. From there, then I was then, after the triage stuff was done, was then just told to remove all my jewelry and get into the hospital gowns, and then just wait until another person would come and grab me, where they would bring me into like a little side room to then talk with my surgeon and the anesthesiologist about like what was going to happen with my surgery and stuff, which was then I think around 7:30ish. They came and pulled me into this other room, and from there I spoke with the anesthesiologist first, which I was then told I was not actually going to be put under with using a machine, and that I would actually just basically be given a spinal injection, which would then numb me from my waist down, and then a drip IV, like a regular drip, which would then also be put in with that a drowsy medication that would actually just make me basically fall asleep. So it's a like literally medically induced like sleep, which was interesting. I was a little bit kind of concerned about that. I've never had that like with a surgery before, but because my surgery was only slotted for an hour and a half, they prefer not to put you under if they don't need to, because you wake up less groggy, less disoriented, and you actually can like start eating faster than if you end up waking up from having like the tubes and stuff. Plus also like no sore throat, which was amazing. So it was kind of nice to like hear that, like I'd be less of a recovery afterwards, and like less concerned, like, and just be able to like recover a little bit smoother. But also it was just like, oh gosh, like am I gonna wake up halfway through this surgery? I didn't, but it was definitely something I just was concerned about, because I've never had this like medically induced sleep when it comes to like a surgery. but all went well, and I'll kind of like get into that. So from there, basically, I ended up meeting with my surgeon, which we went over exactly what was going to happen, how she was going to do the surgery, and what it actually entailed, and how everything was going to be done. We talked about any concerns that I had, and like exactly what was going to get fixed, which I will do in a separate video for you all. But from there, once I was done with her, I then got like walked down to where the actual surgery was going to happen, which was probably around like 7:45, 7:50, and then they went through everything, did the injection, laid me down, and then like was talking to me, and the next thing I know, literally I'm like out. So it was about the same, I feel like, feeling for me when I'm put under using like the mask to this. Like, I fell asleep so quickly, and most of my surgeries I do, like, I just was shocked that it was so fast when it comes to like this, because it's so different. But yeah, I fell asleep pretty quick. Next thing I know, I'm literally waking up about an hour and a half later, which was around 9:30, and everything at that point has like gone well. I woke up, I didn't feel groggy, I didn't feel like disoriented, anything like that. Like I mentioned, it was absolutely like one of my easiest like times of waking up from being put under, which was like really great. I definitely appreciate like now having that experience, and hoping that I can maybe have that for my next 2 surgeries, because it was definitely like something that I appreciated, just not waking up groggy and being disoriented, because it's something I have an issue with my vertigo and stuff. It definitely sets it off a little bit more. So yeah, it was definitely nice. So from there, once I woke up though, I was there for about 2 hours following my surgery, because like once you wake up, my legs were still definitely very numb. So then they have to wait for your legs to wake up completely. They also keep you on vitals, make sure everything is going smoothly, come back and like check on you and stuff. And then within that 2 hour time frame, once it gets closer to the 2 hour mark, make sure that you do have full feeling in your legs. You're able to actually sit up, and that's about like 5-ish minutes. And then from there, I stood up and kind of just did like a little walk on the spot. And then from there, I was then like required or requested to try and use the bathroom just to go pee. And as long as that went smoothly, I was then would be discharged out of the triage, then back to the hotel, which everything went great. Like everything went as smoothly as possible. And so I was there only a full of 2 hours, and I think by 11:30ish I left, and went back to the hotel, where my friend like who was with me stayed with me, following that, like basically into the next day. And then she's actually the one who drove me to the airport, which I appreciate. But you are required to have somebody with you, so then she ended up staying with me. But yeah, we went back to the hotel, and everything went smoothly. And I just, really appreciated having the experience I did this time around when it comes to my surgery and my recovery, because of the last time, like I had so many complications, so many issues, and I was very, very concerned, especially like I mentioned, the next day I had to fly out. I didn't quite know how everything was going to go, and if I did have any issues, like what would happen. But thankfully I didn't, and I really appreciate having like my friend there with me to support me and help me in those like first 2 days, because I definitely like was not able to drive. I was really sore, and we wasn't really able to like even like bend a whole lot, because of like how my surgery had to get done, because there was a skin graft that needed to be taken. But again, I'll get into that in a separate video. But yeah, it was amazing. One of the easiest, I think, like recoveries I've had this far. But I still have to remember to take it easy, like to focus on healing, and take it day by day, which I am doing. And I appreciate everybody who has reached out. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. And again, like I will do partial parts in other like for the other days. I may group a couple days together, because it starts to kind of like be almost the same, repetitive right now when leading up to my 1 week mark. A couple things, maybe different, but for the most part, like most of it's the same. So yeah, keep your eyes open for that. And if you do ever have any comments, topic ideas, anything like that, feel free to put it down in the comments down below. But I appreciate you all watching again on my journey, and that's it. Bye for now.